What's up, CHFFL? It is guest picker week, and we're live from State College.
Hello, Jens.
Pennsylvania. Wes Day joins me yet again as everybody's favorite guest picker.
That's a lie.
Well, they don't have many options. I don't really have guests on that.
That's
often.
fair.
Yeah. All right, so let's start off with the week one wrap up. I went 6-0 in my predictions last week.
Congratulations.
Stan won my game of the week over who? Who did he play?
He beat me. He whooped my ass.
Yeah.
But sorry, off to a bad start.
It's all right.
Stan, good job last week, buddy.
And Swan was team of the week. Put up 185. Team looks really good. Although we'll see how he's going to do this week with McAfee giving him a bad start. McCaffrey, is that how you like to pronounce it? I've always said McAfee.
Oh, no, it's McCaffrey.
All right. Let's start by going over the week one auction transactions, though. Max won the TJ Hawkinson bid, and it seems like everybody wasn't really sure what to do for a rookie tight end with one good week.
It's funny, like that's exactly how the breakdown went. It's like everybody was just $1 over each other.
Yeah, I figured either 10 or 15 was going to be kind of the threshold, and it turned out being 15. Max sniped it, and he's starting Hawk, who I think will probably be a keeper in the 8th round next year if he has a good year.
Yeah, that's what I did last year. I picked up George Kittle week one, and he ended up, working out for me, and I kept him this year too. So if Hawkinson's supposed to be this next Gronk type in a Matt Patricia offense, so good for Max, but it's not going to help him this year.
All right, moving on. Marty spent $20 on AP. The only other bid was Grant there with 15. I know Jice is out for a bit.
Guys?
Whatever.
Hey, semantics police are in the house.
He's always hurt, so I never get to hear his name actually called in a game.
Yeah, fair enough. Another good keeper there, buddy.
I don't know how I feel about that. And then Grant with $12 on Terry McLaurin. He was the only person who bid on the rookie wide receiver playing for the Redskins.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? If he wants him, you got to go get him.
Doesn't Marty like Dallas Cowboys? What's he getting all his money for the Redskins for?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't trust the Cowboys.
I don't know. Maybe he's a real big believer in Case Keenum.
Roy grabbed John Ross III with no other competitors. I spent $4 on the Pats D. A couple other people bid 1 or 2, but they have just such an easy schedule the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I got Malcolm Brown too in case Gurley gets hurt. Yeah, I feel like
I like Malcolm Brown. I was thinking about aiming at Malcolm Brown in drafting because I think he's the handcuff to have for Todd Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to say that after week one. I didn't say that last week, so it doesn't matter about my opinion now. But I like him because Henderson's more of a Gurley type. So if you're going to be splitting carries with Gurley, I don't think you're going to have 2 of the same back. You're going to have a change of pace back, and that's what Malcolm Brown is.
He has kind of like the C.J. Anderson role from last year.
Yeah, except for he's not 400 pounds.
Yeah, and he's good. Yeah. I also wanted to include that Mark picked up Greg Olson and started him this week, got 17 points.
Yeah, he got 17 points from a corpse. I don't know how that happened, but good job, Mark. Good play.
Oh. Burn.
Yeah, I got him good.
Wes was very excited. He had that comment written out before.
Had it ready to roll, baby.
All right, let's get into the predictions. We'll start off with Swan versus Roy, week 2. Godwin over McCaffrey.
Yeah.
18 points on the Thursday game. Watkins, Sammy Watkins with Tyreek Hill out. Can he boom again for Swan? I don't know. We both went Roy, who has Brady throwing to Mr. Big Checks for the first time. Not much to say there, I don't think. It's just, you got the Thursday start. So.
I think with a team that leans so heavily on a top pick like that too, like McCaffrey putting up 8, that's gonna be really tough to come back from. I like to see Godwin doing well. I really floated his value last year. I can't remember what we traded for between Roy and I, but I couldn't keep another keeper. But I'm really happy to see that he's doing well.
I think he's kind of taken over for Evans.
He looks like the number. After 2 weeks, he's the number 1.
He looks better. Right. Moving on, we got Nose Patrick Max versus Wes Alvin in the championships.
Yeah, that's right, baby. Yeah, there they be.
Those are two nice rings.
They're very nice.
And I have 3, but that's okay.
Oh, that's all right. How many did you win back to back?
Oh, none. I spread them out.
That's all right.
Yeah. So Max needs a bounce back. Scored under 100 points last week. He's starting Hawkinson off of the waiver wire, which I like. He has the advantage of Patrick Mahomes versus Mitch Trubisky, but I think your team's just too good, and you seem to be going that way too.
Yeah, and I was a little higher on Mitch Trubisky than a couple people this year. I just think that the running threat is always going to be viable. He didn't play at all in preseason, and he doesn't, the Matt Nagy offense is still crazy and it's always evolving. So I feel like after a couple weeks, he's going to kind of mold into that QB1 that I need. Hopefully, that's why I have a QB on the bench. If not, I do still think that my team is in a better position to win this week, but crazier things have happened, like Stan beating me last week.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think the Packers played good defense. I think that's kind of getting lost in that whole Packers-Bears matchup.
Yeah, Packers played well.
All right, so back over to the high C's, we got Parker, the Eye of the Kraken, versus Grant's butt-touching Booty Bandits, which I didn't realize that that when you put butt and touching together, it's 3 T's in a row, and now it's really messing me up every time I type it.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Why didn't you point that out?
Just to mess with you.
Oh my god, my head's about to split.
All right, DJ Moore getting 7 more points than Mike Evans, helping file out there. Bell, injuries seem to be over. Darnold's out. Could just give him more carries. Could mean he's going to face the stacked boxes. Mixon questionable for Grant. I'm going paw here. You have Grant.
Listen, I'm more or less hoping for that because I want to see Parker go 0-2 because we've seen in the past when Parker goes down early, he starts doing things, and honestly, it's fun to watch, and it's like you always ask yourself, how's this going to work out? And he's going to do so. So I'm more or less rooting for him to go 0-2 because I want to see what he's going to do.
Last year he went Agent Chaos and had a big streak and made it all the way to the championship.
Yeah, and I'm ready to see what he does this year. Parker always does some fun stuff if he goes down early. He's not afraid to pull the trigger. Not Marty kind of stuff where he's like selling away the future, but
yeah. You know, he holds on because all you need is make the playoffs and get lucky.
Yeah, especially in those divisions.
Yep. All right, so then we got the Megalodons versus Captain Phillips. That's Marty versus Minnie. Marty had Cam, Curtis Samuel, and O.J. Howard combined for 24 points. O.J. Howard being a big disappointment for owners. He needs Zeke to carry. Zeke is definitely the only Tier 1 player in this game. But Antonio Brown, good play.
Good.
I have Marty.
Who knows anymore?
I have Marty in this because Zeke and Minnie's team looks a little thin, but I completely understand taking Minnie with the terrible Thursday.
Listen, and I throw Marty under the bus a lot, but he can handle it. Like, he's a tough kid. Listen, Marty did a lot on draft night. I really liked what Marty was able to do on draft night, playing against your love for Saquon Barkley and actually getting a 4th round pick out of it.
Oh yeah,
I thought he did really well, and actually he drafted really well too. So like Marty, I'm not always throwing you under the bus. I just know you can handle it, my brother. But I did pick Minnie this week just because I feel like starting 3 people on a Thursday night just doesn't give you enough room to make up the points. Even though Minnie's projected to score less than 100 points, F projections, he's got 9 more people to go.
It's really tough having basically 6 players.
You got your quarterback. You got your quarterback, your number 2 receiver, and your tight end only putting up 24 points, and you got 6 more people to go against 9 of his starters. I'm just going to take the opportunity instead of what was already there.
Yeah, I completely understand that pick. Now we're getting into Wes's game of the week, which is Shaggy Got Scooby Doo versus Lola Gives Me a Chub. Stan coming off the big win against you, and Mark's team just looking really strong in general.
Yeah, yep. And like I told you, and I started telling people, like everybody's like, why do you pick these conferences of very obviously strong teams? I am just that confident that I think that my team is going to be one of the top 3 teams in any division, no matter what I pick, and I kind of want us to feast on each other. As you see, week 1, and I take the loss, but I kind of like that we just have a super strong team because you're going to kick another strong team out of the playoffs moving forward. I'm really just banking on my team to be able to get there. So these 2 teams are starting to come together, and they look like when I saw Stan's keepers, the wide receivers that he had, if he was able to hit on running back, I felt like Stan was going to be a serious problem. And, I also didn't think his defensive kicker were going to obliterate me last week, too. But that's why I took Stan, because I saw what Stan did. I wanted to see what his, the team, how it all, these guys that are in certain positions, like your Marlon Mack, what will you? Marlon Mack just goes off, and it just looks like the Colts aren't going to miss a step there either. And I really do like the team that Stan was able to put together through the draft, even though he drafted Lamar Miller. And then Mark's team, like you said, Browns are gonna Brown. I've been on the off that Browns train way before. This whole Odell Beckham, they're the greatest team in the world and stuff. I was like, you guys haven't even played a game yet. Last week showed it. They got obliterated by a terrible Titans team.
The more the media hypes them up, the more I want off of that train.
Yeah, and it's just I get it, the star power there. I'm a huge Jarvis Landry. I love Jarvis Landry, but Nick Chubb, if they're going to have that many mouths to feed, I really think the Browns are a playoff team if they run the ball. But you have too many mouths and too many personalities just to actually run the ball.
I still like Mark this week, but I think you make some really good points. I really like your game of the week pick. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
That's because it's your game of the week pick. That's why you like it.
No, it's not. My game of the week pick is selfishly.
Oh yeah.
Brad's Salty Sea Dogs against my Windfall Island Nittany Lions. I hope people understand that reference. I don't think they do.
I don't.
It's a Zelda, the Wind Waker.
Oh, I thought it was Windfall. Now I see it.
I didn't type. Well, that's a typo, but it's Windfall. Yeah,
got you.
And I gave the King of Red Lions a little scarf.
I was like, what do you mean by not winning? Windfall? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, that's a typo. It's an important game for both Brad and I. I feel like Grant came into the draft with the best draft capital, so Parker, Brad, and I are fighting for those other two spots. Brad had a bad week one, but his roster's solid.
Yeah.
His thing is he kept Baker Mayfield, and he has the two big tight ends, and I went all for the running backs, wide receivers, and I'm streaming those positions.
Yep.
So that's another interesting little matchup. I think I'm unbiased. I like me this week.
Yeah, and like I picked you as well, just based off of the matchups, based off of what you have, and like we talked about this before we did our little video. I really like Brad as a fantasy player. I think Brad in a position last year where there was no way for success, especially with the top three teams that we had in our division last year, and he still pushed until the very end of the season and almost still got in at the very end.
And I'm pretty sure he outscored me, even though I got the playoff spot over him. His team was really strong.
So I'm taking Ing this week, but like for a futures pick, like you guys are all in the stocks and all that kind of like stuff. I'm telling you, Brad's going to be a problem for some of the other teams moving forward, just because I think he's a good fantasy player.
Yep. I agree. Really happy to have him in the league.
Absolutely. Solid addition.
All right, and
glad to have you, bud.
We're approaching the 12-minute mark, so I think I about it. I do want to ask.
Oh, God, you're talking too much then.
Predict Penn State Pitt for me real fast.
Oh, my gosh. God. Oh, my gosh.
I need
it's going to be a bloodbath. Oh, on a nice, chilly, rainy State College day, I think we're going to just, I don't know. I'm going to say 54-13.
Oh, God, I hope so. All right, that's it for this time. Thanks for being here, Wes.
Oh, thanks for coming down, brother.
We'll see all you guys next week.
Have a good one.